you can just kind of mute yourself, we'll have a time for questions at the end. If you get too rowdy, Megan will mute you so that we don't have a lot of distractions. So first, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And before we jump into the fundraising piece, I want to take a minute and talk about some of the communication for this year regarding your group's participation placing wreaths. So in the coming weeks, we will send out an email to all the groups with contact for their location coordinator at the cemetery that you are signed up to participate at. You will need to make sure you reach out to them to discuss specifics around your group's participation this year. The wreath placement will certainly look different in a lot of areas, but our location coordinators are working diligently to put plans in place that will allow us to move forward safely with wreath placement. So if you have any specific concerns about your location, reach out to your liaison for guidance on that. Do give them, like I said, it's going to be like another 2 weeks before we send that information out, because we just released some of the plan options to the coordinators last night. A lot of you were on there as well. And so we want to give them time to kind of get things in place so we're not bombarding them as they're still figuring things out as well. So this year, more than any, we've learned just how adaptable we all are, and that our nation will continue to honor and remember veterans despite the challenges that come our way. Fundraising can be successfully done in a variety of ways: virtual events, which are done completely online, social distancing events, which are face-to-face, but while practicing social distancing, and traditional events, which are just, face-to-face. We're going to share some easy virtual fundraising ideas first, because I know there are a lot of groups out there right now that this is the only type of fundraising that can be done. The first idea is a group video challenge where you can get members of your group, whether it's Cub Scouts, Civil Air Patrol, American Heritage Girls, or any types of groups, with multiple members. You can even do this as a challenge among friends and family. Record a short video, tell people what you're asking for and why, and then call people out in a challenge for them to do this as well. This is a great thing to do on social media, as you can see from the picture here. This was something that someone actually did, and they were able to sponsor several wreaths that way. We've included a kind of a script that you can use when doing a video, and anything that we share throughout this, we will send these documents to you following the webinar so that you can use these for your own purposes. So this could include, this could also be used as a group challenge to see who can get the most in a group and reward that member that has the most sponsorships. Just make sure that if you do that each member has their own page under your fundraising group for easier tracking. And if you're not sure what that is, or not sure how to set that up, reach out to your liaison for assistance on that. So next, another idea is you can ask your local community to donate just $1 per person in their family. Depending on the size of your community, the population may be big enough that you could successfully raise enough to put a wreath on every veteran's grave in your local cemetery. One of our sponsorship groups was able to cover their cemetery just by doing this, and it wasn't asking for a lot. As we know, some people are, struggling right now. Next, we have an example of a raffle that one of our sponsorship groups did, and it was so successful that they covered their cemetery. This group sold 200 tickets of this large, like $25 ticket, and then which was $5,000 raised right off the bat. Then they sold smaller ones at $5 each. Their biggest expense was having tickets printed up. From that event alone, they raised over $7,000 in funds, and they were able to fully cover the veterans at their location with this fundraiser. This type of fundraiser can be a combination of online and in person, and we did include kind of a sample of how that flyer was set up. And again, anything at the end, we'll send all these documents that you can kind of use and tailor them to do your own thing. Obviously, these are just examples of stuff that they did in their raffle, but you can tailor it to what would go best in your area. So Facebook fundraisers, these are are easy and that you want to make sure you take advantage of them. You probably see people do this for their birthdays, but it can also be done anytime. You can set a goal. For example, say you have a section with 50 veterans in it that you want covered. You could set a goal for your fundraiser to be $750. Then share and post and ask your friends to share as well. You can move your goal as needed. So it's good to keep it realistic, because as people see you getting close to your goal, they're more likely to donate because they want to see you reach that goal. They feel like, oh, we're almost there. Let's help them, give them that $5 more they need. And today we actually have Brenda Kaesler, who is a member of our SWAT team. And she is going to talk a little bit about some of the fundraising stuff she's done, and including a Facebook fundraiser that she did for her birthday, which just blew everyone else's out of the water. Mine, I felt very unloved after my birthday fundraiser after seeing hers. So Brenda, do you want to hop on and tell us about your fundraiser event?
Sure. I've always used Facebook in the last 4 years, but I've never been able to quantify it. So this year, when the fundraising thing for my birthday came up, I thought, well, I'll do it, and I'll start with $500. I really thought $500 was what I was going to get. And within about 4 hours, I had $497 or something like that. So I kept upping it for the whole week, and I wound up with $2,520 or something ridiculous like that. I severely underestimated my friends and family. And I apologize to them for that too. But it blew me away, and it was zero effort on my part. So that's really important. I also think that posting anything about with your link on your personal Facebook page, on your for any DAR chapters there are, for those Facebook pages, anywhere that you've got Facebook, put your link, because it's pretty amazing. You can also do the typical fundraisings, and I think they take a percentage out, but it's not that much. So especially since everybody is virtual and it seems like people are really wanting to spend money, let's do it. The thing that surprised me the most was, and this is what I really want to caution everybody about, is our, what I call already listening. See, I had already listening that nobody was going to be able to spend money this year because some people were out of jobs and that sort of thing, but I was proven sorely wrong in a happy way. So I really recommend that you do that. The other thing that we're doing with our DAR chapter is posting on Facebook that because we haven't had meetings since March, so it's March, April, May, June, 4 meetings last year that we didn't have, and usually our meetings have lunches, so that's $20 a lunch. That's $80 that our people saved from not having to go to meetings. So I'm asking them to use what they saved and sponsor Wreaths. Those are my big things. It's really about Facebook. I think Facebook is one of the really important things, and if you can figure out a way to quantify it, that's even better. And that's what I like about the fundraisers.
Yep. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome.
So, and the Facebooks, again, like they're just such a great tool right now. And if you don't have a Facebook set up for your location or your group, reach out to your liaison and let us help you with getting one set up, because it's just a great tool to use. We also have Sam, who's on our staff, who makes these wonderful graphics that you can share on Facebook, and that just kind of catches people's attention and helps kind of keep people, things, Wreaths Across America, kind of in the eye of people, let them know what's going on in your area.
And Julie, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
One of the things that I've done a couple of times that's really proven beneficial is I have what do you call it, when sponsored posts, is that what you call it? Boost the post, yep. Post. Spend $10 for 3 or 4 days, and I usually get about 20 new members off of that, because you can go in and look and see who's liked it and then invite whoever isn't already on there. And while I can't quantify that as far as sponsorships go, that's 20 people that I didn't have before as possibilities.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to jump in here too, Julie, and just let everyone know. So a couple of things about Facebook to understand. We actually recently, about 2 months ago, did an audit, and out of all of the about 4,400 groups that we had, I think it was about 85 that have Facebook groups that are specific to Wreaths Across America. So that number is actually, it was actually somewhat shocking to us how low that number was. I think for Facebook in particular, there might be some of the folks we've talked to, there's been a lack of understanding, so they are a little hesitant to use it. We are here to help. I promise you, if I can do it, if my mom can do it, anybody can do it. And we can certainly help you. Like for instance, I know Brenda, you use a lot of the graphics that Sam makes. We put those graphics out every month for all the different holidays and topics. You could just use those and not even worry about it. But by putting that out there, people understand why you're involved with the mission, and you can really share what is important to you and why it's important for the folks in the community to get involved. We have tons of content that can easily be shared, and really Sam can really handhold and help you through it. She's here to help. After last night's webinar, she received over 10 people who reached out and asked her to make a Facebook page for them. So just keep in mind, we're here to help, and it's really not as scary as it might seem. And we can do very little. It doesn't require daily posts. We can do weekly posts, and we can really make sure that you get some good awareness. To your point, Brenda, more eyeballs seeing about and learning about the mission ultimately it could be a year before that person maybe participates, but maybe they say, hey, I'm going to go to Miramar and see what this event is about because I saw it on Facebook. So you could get somebody new down the stream for that. So I do want to say too, with these Facebook fundraisers, it's really important because HQ receives one monthly payment every month from Facebook. So if you're doing a Facebook event like this, Facebook fundraiser for your birthday or an event of some kind, it's really important to take a screenshot of your final numbers and make sure that you send that to HQ Finance so that when the money comes in, they know how to allocate those funds. So please make sure you keep that in mind.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself because someone muted me. So the last week we kicked off our 100-day countdown to Wreath Day. And I know that's probably a little scary to some people. It makes me a little nervous, but September 10th marked 100 days until National Wreaths Across America Day. So to celebrate and help generate some excitement and awareness around the program, we are featuring a public countdown on the Wreaths Across America radio page and on our Facebook page. The 100-day countdown will feature a new sponsorship group supporting the mission each day and highlight their why. We encourage you to follow along and share this content with your own followers, or you can use it as a guide to host your own community countdown. Maybe feature 100 veterans buried in your local cemetery. The number and topic is up to you. And it's a great way to create a sense of urgency for the support needed to honor those laid to rest in your community. Just remember to always share how people can give to your group or location whenever possible, which includes sharing those links to your group page. And please don't forget, if you are a group, you want to share your group link, the link to your group page, not your location page. I know some of you guys are dual and you do both, but you want to make sure that your sponsorships are coming through your group page, which will roll up to your location so that you get that 3 for $2 or $5 back credit. Additionally, for fun, we've created a 100-day challenge exclusively for location coordinators and group leaders interested in participating. If you decide to opt in, you'll receive a daily email through Wreath Day that includes a tip or a challenge that you can use to gain awareness and wreath sponsorships in your own community. The goal is to help provide new ideas and tools that you can use to be successful. And if you need the link to opt in, just reach out to your regional liaison and they will get that over to you.
Same goes for the 100-day countdown, Julie. Yes, we were talking with a number of groups, but if there is a group listening right now that really would like to be featured, please contact your liaison and we can get that link over to you. The more, the merrier.
So at this point in 2020, I think we're all pretty versed on social distancing and how events can be held safely while practicing social distancing. There are a lot of standard fundraising events that we can apply social distancing to make them a safe fundraiser for 2020, such as a cornhole or golf tournaments, car washes or paddle races. You can donate your hobby, where people make donations for a service you provide, like cooking or carpentry. This is also a great option for groups with teenagers because they could offer up skills like cutting grass or raking leaves for a donation. I really need someone to come cut my grass and rake my leaves. So if anybody knows anybody, I'll make a donation. A community book sale or yard sale is a great option. A lot of people have been using these last few months to clean out some clutter. So ask your local community to donate items that they can turn around and put into a yard sale or a book sale. This sale could also happen online in areas that are still under strict COVID restrictions. And we have on today, we also have a SWAT member, Beth, who is on, and she is going to share some of the different fundraisers that she has done this year. She is this lovely lady pictured here with her cornhole board that she had made for Wreaths Across America. And she's going to tell us today about some of the stuff that she's been doing in her community.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, we've gotten very creative and we're so blessed to have a lot of businesses around us that support us. So I just made a list of different things that we've done, and I'm sure you all have done some of these as well, but just your general outreach tables. We've been at Cabela's, we've been at Mission Barbecue outside. We set up our own tent. We have masks, you know, we do the whole social distancing thing. So that works. Some people are still allowing that. The biggest thing, and we've got one coming up next weekend, is our gun and cash bingo. So we typically sell about 250 tickets because the place that we have the bingo, it can hold over 300 people, but we don't like to be scrunched. You need arm room, elbow room when you're playing bingo. So because of COVID, we had to cut that down to 150, but we're going next week. We're going to follow social distancing. People are going to have to spread out at the tables. We'll have them spread out. And we typically can make $5,000 to $7,000 on a regular bingo with our 20 games of cash and guns. And we talked about a sex toy bingo. It hasn't happened yet, but there's a lot of interest. I'm just going to say that. So, Karen, are you rolling your eyes? Like, yeah. So that's been a big fundraiser for us. And I'm looking at my cheat sheet. I don't want to forget anything. The Cornhole Tournament, that one was our first one. And so I had this brain idea about these cornhole boards, and I was so adamant that I wanted that hole to be in the center of the wreath, and I got somebody to design it. So we're having another cornhole tournament in October. It's outside, social distancing. We are actually raffling off cornholes, these cornhole boards. And a way that we're cutting down the cost for us, so on the board, we're going to ask that the Wreaths Across America at the bottom be smaller. If we get a business to sponsor a set of boards for, say, $100, which pretty much covers the cost, we can raffle off, and all that's profit, and people win boards. And Wreaths Across America will be out there in lawns and fields everywhere. So that goes along with the cornhole. And we charged $40 a team to play, and all those fees came back to us. Our first tournament, we raised $450. It was small. We had 12 teams, but we've already got 10 teams signed up, and we just opened it up about a week ago. So we're looking forward to our next one. A golf tournament. It didn't happen this year because of Rona, but you can make between $6,000 and $7,000 on a good golf tournament, even with just 25 teams. And I can give anybody who wants details on that. I don't want to take up a ton of time here, but a golf tournament's a great one. A quarter auction is something else that we are planning, but again, we just didn't get it. We didn't pull it off this year. So a quarter auction is when you have those home party people, you get those vendors to donate 3 prizes, and then people come in and they buy a bidding paddle, and they bid on these prizes, either 1 quarter, 2 quarter, or 3 quarters. So everything is donated at that point. So all that money is profit. Now, we also add other baskets, not just from the vendors. And that's, again, that's another easy fundraiser, because who doesn't know home party people, right? So a car show. We haven't done this, but it's on my list of things to do. Our town just had one. There were over 400 cars. They charged 10 pre-registration, 15 day of, and someone donated the trophies. And the trophies are so fun because a welder, a guy who loves to weld, he actually made these trophies, and they were just so pertinent to, the car people. I don't know. I'm a motorcycle people, but that was huge, and it's a huge money maker. This weekend, okay, next weekend's the gun bingo. I know I got too much going on here. Next weekend's the gun bingo. This weekend, we have a local band who draws a huge crowd, who is, they are going to be in a pavilion that's open, covered, and they are charging $5 to come in, and they're donating that to Wreaths Across America. One of our fundraising groups is going to be manning that event. Gun raffle tickets are something we talked about, and a calendar raffle, which so every day of the month, in some cases, you can make it for 1 month or 6 months. You win $100 on special days, and that, I don't know how much that raises, but I added it because I want to get involved in that too, or at least share the idea with other people who might be able to use it. Maybe my group can't do it, but we're doing a lot. So the other thing, chili cook-off, I heard something about, and we did the magnets, they're 4-inch round wreath magnets with our location in the center. I see it, Amber. I was going to ask you. Oh, I love it. So that magnet, yeah, we got them. They cost less than $1, and we have them out really not for sale, so to speak, but if people give $5, if you donate $5, you get a free wreath magnet. Okay. So something like that, it doesn't have to be $5, but whatever, you do what you want. And then I also understand that selling cows is a really great moneymaker. So now I got to up my game. I saw that somewhere in Iowa, there's a grant.
I'm pretty sure that cow is going to end up at the Worcester Ranch. I don't know, Karen, are you on? It may or may not end up at the Worcester Ranch, but yeah, the cow is a great idea. They're auctioning off a cow named Sparky.
I am on. I think it's brilliant. I'm glad. First, Beth, you want to
get busy if you get a chance, hon. Just try to get busy. But I love the cow idea. I think that's so. I mean, it doesn't have to be a cow; it could be almost anything. But yes, I did not want the cow in Don Queenie's freezer, so I'm trying to get Lola not to bid against me, but bid with me. And any of you that are friends with me on personal Facebook know that my husband calls me his heifer. So this is very near and dear to my heart. So yes, the Worcesters will be bidding on the and any other livestock. So if you're struggling, just get some livestock, and Renee and I'll jump in and try to save it.
Yeah, livestock. I know. What did I say? Here, hold my beer. I got to come up with something else, right? So that's all I've got. I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot of ideas, and even in this season of Rona, as I call it, because there are things that you can do. Virtual things are huge. I just did a virtual ceremony for the March for the Fallen, if anybody is familiar with that. That was a big event that's held around the country. It's the Remember and Honor flag that, I mean, it just ties in so well with our mission that our runs that, what did you call them? Oh my gosh, I can't even think now. But
the virtual
things are huge. The virtual run. Oh yeah. So I did too. About 100 yards. That's it. That's all I could do. But anything you can think of, you just got to think outside the box, get creative. So
Beth,
one more thing, and then I'll shut up.
A couple questions for you, Beth. People are asking, for instance, where did you get the magnets? That was a local printer, right? We helped you with getting the graphics. Same thing with the cornhole. People are asking about the cornhole how you had these made? Are you just working with local
Okay.
vendors?
Okay, so the magnets, it was a vendor that I was given by headquarters, and I can't even tell you what their name is anymore. I'm on to the next 7 things.
What?
But
Hi, Beth. This is Renee. I'm jumping in on that one. But yeah, if we have those all, if we're allowed to borrow that, Beth, we do have the mock-up if we want to just kind of switch in a different location or group. So reach out to your liaison, and liaisons reach out to Logan.
Logan. Yes. Yeah, and I did the giant wreaths for my car, like in season. I put them on my car when you drive around and people see it. Yeah. Except that one time I was speeding. Well, whatever. So yeah, you don't want to be noticed, but they're great tools. You know, the cornhole, a local printer is doing that, and I actually had some questions. People want to know. My local guy said he will do these cornholes for $48 each, the vinyl, and ship that to you. So, I mean, he's very good. The quality is good, but I got to tell you, I love him. He does all of our signs, but I also found a place online that I would like to try that I think it's probably, the price is close. I'm going to talk to my team and get some input on that, but I have the design. That was my design. I'm willing to share it. So yeah. Yeah. What else? Oh, you know what else, Amber? So all these raffles, the small games of chance and the bingo licenses in Pennsylvania, they license you and license you to death. So wherever you are, you need to check that out, because once you start selling raffle tickets or having bingos, you may have to abide by some state, county, whatever ordinances, laws, rules.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
state requirements around raffles, and you can get in touch with your liaisons. We do have guidelines for state to state from the finance office if people have questions about that.
Okay.
Can I just
So
put in there too that also on military installations, you're not allowed to do raffles.
Correct. Really any fundraising on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think from the sounds of it, people have a lot of interest. Maybe Beth, you can send some of these designs to Rachel to share potentially with some of this. It sounds like a lot of people are asking for some of these designs. One of the questions that I just want to ask, some folks are asking about the use of the Wreaths Across America logo. Wreaths Across America does have brand standards. I will be posting the link in the chat. I'm just trying to pull it as I'm sitting here listening. There is a brand standard site to find some basic guidelines for the use of the Wreaths Across America logo, but I highly encourage you to please send, if you're making a significant investment in anything that's going to be printed, that you please check with your liaisons to make sure that the logo is approved usage. So before you print any billboards or things like that, typically they send it to me and I take a quick look and I can turn it around within 24 hours. But we do have some guidelines for that, and I'll put the link in chat in a moment.
All right, so next we're going to jump on to another really cool fundraiser that several of our groups are doing, and it's Flag a Friend. Some people are calling it different things, but we have another SWAT member with us, Doug, who is going to tell us how his group does this. And I've included some flyers that they are using to do this. And again, we'll share all the stuff with you guys afterwards, so you can take it and customize it to your own areas if you wanted to steal this idea. Everyone's stealing it, so it's okay. I give permission for you guys to steal his fundraising ideas. So Doug, if you're on, do you want to hop on and tell us about the Flag a Friend fundraiser you're doing?
Sure, and please steal away. If you need the email there, you can email me. I'll send you the forms. You don't even have to type them. So what we do is, and it's me, so out and do this. We do 4 homes and 1 business a day. And so far, if we stay true to the numbers we've already got in, we'll raise enough money for almost 400 wreaths in 30 days. And that's one person doing 5 spots a day. So what we do is give them 2 options. There's a flag removal, and I put suggested amounts in there for residents and businesses. And if you notice, they kind of match 1 wreath, 2, and 4, similar to the flyer that you guys put out. And for businesses, it's 2, 5, and then the $150. But I also include with it the flyer that Wreaths Across America gives us on your guys' website. Of course, as Julie knows, I have 7 cemeteries, so mine has a few more lines in it than just one. But they can pick the cemetery, they can go ahead and do it, and they can mail it in, so they don't have to leave the money or whatever with us in there. You can't see it on the picture. I put a little Ziploc bag with all this stuff attached to the sign. The signs are made up by Vistaprint, Custom Ink, a local company. Anybody can do them. They're really easy to do. The whole thing costs $200. We have the flags that you see, the signs, and I just run around and do it. All I say is, be careful in today's world if you choose to do this. I live in a small town in Harrington. It's got 3,000 people. I've lived here all my life. I don't think I'm going to get shot. But if you live in a community where there's been some issues, please just be careful. If you go out and do this, do it during the day, maybe not in the evening, those kinds of things. I have not had anybody call me on my phone, my cell number's on there, and say, oh my God, get these things off my lawn or I'm going to burn them. But you can have a lot of volunteers. You figure if one guy's getting 400 wreaths in 30 days, if you have 5 volunteers in different suburbs and cities, you could easily raise 2,000 or 3,000 wreaths in a month's time. And it's just by $15 a person. We're not looking for, that large amount of money that some of us have experienced in the past. Because of COVID, we know some folks are living on tighter budgets. One of the very first ones, you see the little boy here, was a grandson, and it was actually his money. He wanted to give that money. So, we talk about the teach part of this. Here's a little tiny, I don't think he's even 2 yet, kid that wanted to be a part of this. So it tied so well into everything that I put that out there, and we hit our Facebook pages every day. The houses I do, the businesses I do, I take pictures of them. They go on Facebook. So every day that is repeating. So people get to see it. We've had people on Facebook say, hey, can you literally they'll send us their address. Go to my house next. And that's kind of what the Flag a Friend is. It's a way to raise extra money so they can send them to a sister, a cousin, a neighbor, kind of as a little thing to get them involved. So it adds people to your Facebook. People are interested. They're sharing it. The community's getting involved with it. The newspapers picked it up. And it's all from $200 worth of supplies and a little bit of gas money. And it takes me 20 minutes to run them around town. So it's really simple, low tech as it gets. I don't have to talk to anyone. So, it's a social distance thing. And I run them around, put them out. And it's just been like I said, we'll probably come close to 400 wreaths minimum. And I know a few businesses have written out $1,000 checks because of this. That's all.
That's awesome. Thanks, Doug. And how long are you planning on doing this? Like up through like December? Are you planning on just doing it for like a month or 2, or have you not thought about it? Just gonna wait to see how it goes.
Till I get tired. Which if Trish is on knows that's never. But we'll probably do it up until maybe Halloween, which is October. In October. So we'll see. I've got 2,600 total wreaths amongst the 7 cemeteries. And I know that's not, I was listening to some other folks, 10,000, 20,000, and I get the idea. We don't have that number, but, we'll do it probably for 2 months. So if I keep my numbers up, that's 800 wreaths. That's a quarter of what I need by one person. So, again, you get a half a dozen volunteers, you can make a huge impact in a very large cemetery.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Doug, I missed the very, very beginning. How did you actually start this process? Where were your first, how did you start raising the money?
Well, fortunately, I'm the curator at our local museum after I retired. So much for retirement. That's a lesson I learned. But anyway, So the museum put up the money because we do the $5 give back, and so we raised plenty of money last year. So we put some of that money out to buy the supplies, and you can get them off of, just Google them, and you can get the supplies. They were no big deal. I made the forms. A few years ago, I did this program for our local Parks and Recreation as a fundraiser. We did flamingos because it was summertime. So I just stole the forms, redid them a little bit, used the Wreaths Across America logos, etc., and plugged in the Wreath stuff where I needed to, and ran with it. And like I said,
Where did you run? Where did you run with that? Who was the first person to give you $15 to put a flag in somebody's yard?
Actually, this little boy lives right across the street from me. So I just started
You
with
hustled him?
Yeah, I took his birthday money. Hey, a wreath is a
Okay,
wreath.
so just word of mouth. You just started talking to people and saying, "Hey, we're doing this."
I don't talk to them. That's the thing. I sneak up on their house and just put them out and go.
Oh.
It's kind of a surprise for them.
So you put the flag out with the thing there, and then they say, "Hey, I want this to happen," and they send you $15.
Right. Yeah. There's a little baggie, Ziploc baggie we hang.
You are sneaky.
Yeah. Thank you. Wire tied right to the bottom. You can hear my dog in the background. I'm sorry. But it's wire tied to the wire frame, so it's waterproof. They can leave a check in there if they want. We do have one line in there that says, if you leave cash, call us, because we don't want cash dangling out on the street. But again, I live in a small town where, we don't have a lot of people that are going to steal that stuff. I always buy extra flags just in case something like that happens. Somebody swipes them or breaks them or whatever, because it could happen. But it's amazing when the friends get into it and they start sending them to each other. That gets to be a game with them. They have fun with it, sending it to different friends. So that's why we made that second flyer. I've made a couple $100 just off them sending it to other friends. One of the questions I just saw, we leave them, we pick them up the next day, so we can rotate them every day. And we put out a dozen. That's how many we put out. I thought about 13 for the 13 original colonies getting cute. I'm like, yeah, okay. But we just did a dozen. And it's real simple. We have them make the checks out to the Historical Society, so then we can collect them up, deposit them, and then we can just do one credit card purchase online. If they make them out to, if they do the wreath form, then they can send it off to Maine. But if if they make the check out to the Historical Society, because we're a 501c3, we just pass it through our books, and you guys get a order once a day. I just ordered 10, I think, a little while ago before I hopped on here. And we will order 10. That was yesterday's numbers of checks and cash that came in.
Hey, this is Renee. That's a great idea. And you could almost call it, like, paint the town red, white, and blue, and you're picking up all but one flag, and you're leaving that one flag at that place that you had just been to see if you can get participation from everyone in town.
And that would work great. Like I said, the big thing, and I like that idea. If I can convince the people, the museum, maybe we'll add that to it next year. But the big thing I can't stress enough is Facebook. That little chubby face right there, I know has gotten me 50 or more reads. But I sent it to Julie. I think I said it was worth 1 million reads. Julie is what the email said. Because that, you can't buy that kind of publicity. You can't buy that kind of cute little face that says, I gave that's how I worded it. He gave his $15. You can too. I'll use a little kid like that in a heartbeat. I'm not ashamed of it.
All right. Well, thanks, Doug. We're going to cut you off before you get yourself in trouble for child labor laws over there. Another thing, some people were asking about payments on this and stuff. And this is a great use for the QR code we're going to talk about in another slide or two. You could make flyers with a QR code that links it directly to your page so that they could, make payments that way. I think there's a lot of options here, and we will be sending out the flyers in an editable, I can't even talk, guys, form that you guys can use to customize them for your locations following the webinar, because there's a lot of people asking about that. So you will have that, and reach out to your liaison. We can help you guys kind of add a QR code and whatever else that you might need to make this work in your area. And this is just one of the many fun ideas. You know, there's so much going on right now, and people are looking for fun ways to get people involved. And, you know, like Doug said, it's, you know, you get the friends kind of going back and forth. And, you know, I think a lot of places are seeing stuff similar to this. And so it's just a fun thing. It ties into Wreaths Across America. It's a good way to get out there and try something different. So next we're going to talk about some traditional events and that are face-to-face. And now a lot of the traditional type of fundraising events, these can really be done practicing social distancing as well. So, you know, don't feel like these have to be like in set categories. There's, you know, you've got, I'm not going to go verbatim down through all this because we're going to send it to you afterwards. I don't want to bore you all. But, you know, you've got cook-offs that can be done with participants sign up, and the entrance fees goes towards Wreath sponsorships. There's, you know, you can do garage sales and pet parades, which Region 4 Liaison American Erickson really wants someone to do. So we put this in there for her. So someone please do a pet parade and share it on social media so we can see that. There's a restaurant night, which for this fundraising idea to work, you really need to find the right local restaurant to be your partner. You would work together to pick a night, a recurring evening that works for everyone. And then on that evening, the restaurant would provide a percentage of their profits to WA. I know that we have a lot of people who already kind of do this. And this is something where you may be hesitant to ask because so many restaurants have been closed. In some areas they are still closed, but this is a great opportunity for them as well as they're reopening to drive more people into them, because if there's an event going on, there's gonna be more people coming. You've got polar plunges, and I got out of order here, but drive-in movie or a movie in a park. Where you sell tickets to the event beforehand. You can sell popcorn and other snacks. And that's, again, something that you can mark out the spot so people are being social distance and safe, but it's still a traditional event. And right now, I think there's a lot of opportunity to do stuff like this because so many things are being canceled. But there are still a lot of things that can be done safely that will give people something to do, so they're going to go. It's a great opportunity to reach people that you might not normally reach. Another one is the booths, and this is where we're going to talk a little bit about the QR code. So a lot of people are still doing booths. They're having booths set up outside of stores. You can have a poster with your QR code so that donors can safely do a no-touch donate with their own credit card, PayPal, or Google Pay. We're seeing use, I know you're probably seeing the QR codes a lot of places. Like if you go to Waffle House, they have the menus with a QR code now, so you don't have to touch the menus, and a lot of people are starting to use them. They're really easy to make, and we did include a link here where you can, this is just a free QR code. All you do is you put the link to a website in there, it pulls up a picture, and you save it. If you need help with that, reach out to your liaison. We can help create it. We can put it into some posters for you, like you can see right here. This is actually a poster that we have available to download on our website. It can be a little tricky sometimes, but the liaisons and myself have perfected the ability to edit it. So if you need help, you want to create something like this for your area, reach out to us and we can definitely create one for you that you guys can post at your booth to have that QR code present. And really those codes, I mean, anywhere, you know, put them on flyers and hand them out. Whenever you're doing events, like I said, with the flag thing, you can put it on there, and it's a great way that people can pay. They don't have to leave cash, and it's a quick, you just use, if you have a smartphone, which most people have a smartphone nowadays, it's just an easy tool to use. And that is all I have. So Amber or Renee and Bree, if you guys have anything, feel free to speak up.
This is Renee. Actually, I'll put my video on. Hey, just as an option, if you are doing, you know, some events that are open to the public or even some private events, that the mobile education exhibit is on the road, and we are doing some pop-up events, and all that is maybe like short-term events during the week. But if I'm pretty sure, I don't actually know where the link is, ladies, you might have to throw it in the chat. But that's also a really good backdrop. It's been on the road now for a couple months, and we've actually had a couple surprise inspections, and we passed with flying colors. So, you know, we practice social distancing, and the cleaning of the trailer has, we've mastered it. So, please utilize that. We have we have a team that is, a driver and his significant other who has been amazing and has really done a great job with these types of events. Also, the hyper local media around this has been amazing. So Amber and her team have really gotten behind this and has been able to have some real successful events with it. And just to let you know, we can't promise anything, but we can definitely try to work with the schedule, and depending on what's already scheduled right now, we might be able to pull some extra events in there.
And I see Sandra's had her hand raised for a while. Sandra, do you want to ask your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question, Sandra.
No, I was just, when we first started, I just wanted to say hi. This is Zeta Mikai Hope Park. And I just wanted to say hi, but I'm listening, and I will get with the person that works with me to try to understand a little bit more. I am taking pictures this because I didn't know if you were going to record this, and I can go back later and really listen to everything.
Well, we definitely will. We're gonna, so all of these webinars every month, and we've had a few other, just so everyone knows, on our Wreaths Across America YouTube channel, we have had a couple of other earlier this year webinars specifically around fundraising. So there has been other things that have been discussed throughout the year from different folks. So you can go back to the YouTube page and actually watch any of those that might have appeared earlier. And we can, if one of the liaisons could throw the link in there, that would be great, because that one I have to look up.
Okay.
So you can certainly go in there and watch them at any time. And obviously your liaison can send it to you as well. But, you know, and if the other thing to remind people too, I know we talked a little bit about social media. If you are on personally on Facebook, I do also really encourage you to to join the sponsorship group private page. This is where a lot of these ideas are being shared on a regular basis. We also try and share local media coverage that we're seeing and that is being generated by all these awesome volunteers across the country, just to see the different things that people are doing. And just, it's a great place to ask questions and say, hey, do you have this file, or does anyone have a poster file or something, or, you know, what do you use at your booths, things like that. And it's a place where people can really talk to each other and help each other. So if you are on Facebook but not a member of that group, please let your liaison know. We can certainly invite you, but you can also look it up on Facebook, and we can certainly get you on that private group. I'm trying to think if there's other things. You know, these are just, we're barely scratching the surface here, but I have to tell you, as an organization who's, you know, collectively, we've done a lot of in-person, face-to-face events over the last 12 years that I've been involved with the organization. I'm really so impressed with how quickly everyone has shifted and how creative everyone is being this year. And I really think it's awesome. And, you know, we're trying to do the same thing here at HQ. We hosted a virtual concert in July that is available on Facebook. But if for those people not on Facebook, it's also streaming on Showcase Cinemas has it's called Showcase Now. It's a streaming service where it's available for free. And that is actually a great tool that you can use as well to share with people that link and give people some information about Wreaths Across America. It's a great program. It's our full program from that evening. And if you know people who are not on social media that you'd like to have them understand what the mission's about, it's a great way to share that. So there's a lot of great tools that we have available. So if you're not sure, please reach out to your liaison, and we're here to help.
Amber, I just want to say thank you. This is Karen. Doug, I want to be flagged, please. Could you make that happen here? I really do.
Can't
I
see.
still want to be flagged. I also,
I'll get it done.
at the cow, and I want to tell you guys something. Don't forget your Facebook fundraisers, because Renee and I and Amber personally have already each sponsored a pallet because we can't say no. So make sure you put that out there to people like us, because we are.
Tag us. We'll buy.
Honestly, it's very uplifting for us, because we're like you. We're trying to comply with everybody and try to put as much help together and you know, keep everybody looking ahead. And you know, it's a struggle, but when you get in a group like this, it's very uplifting. So thanks everybody, and staff, you guys are amazing. You knocked it out of the park again. Just appreciate all of you.
All right, I'm going to jump in one last time. This is Renee again. I just want to reiterate the message that we had last night on our locations and groups webinar, but it's communication, letting us know where you're at. So just constantly communicating with your liaison, so we understand, like, if you need some extra help and some ideas, we're there for you. But also, if you're seeing an amazing spike in wreath sponsorships, let us know, just so we're prepared as far as like logistics go, and just communicating with HQ just to make sure it's a seamless and smooth transportation at the end of this big push, because we want to make sure that all your hard work is paid out and you're receiving everything that, you know, all the wreath sponsorships that you are getting. And it's a little bit later this year, obviously. So we really want to make sure that you're having the best ceremonies as possible.
Julie, if I can jump in, when I do those packets with the flags, I put in there a thing about Wreath Day. I use the trifold brochure you guys made up, so I'm getting that out as well. In anybody's hands that I can get it in, because I know it's, you know, they leave it on the counter and somebody else sees it. So don't miss that opportunity to get out to those people that message as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And if you're not a location coordinator and your group is looking to do the Flag a Friend, it's a great idea to get with your location coordinator, find out kind of what they're planning on doing for the ceremony, the wreath placement for this year, and make sure you're including that in as well. So, and I know a lot of people were asking again about the flyers for the Flag a Friend. Like I said, we will be sending those out in an email to you guys. So don't worry, you'll get them. Just give us like a day to get through this, and then we'll send them over.
I can quickly go over 3 things that I do if you all want. I do four main events, but one isn't in person, so I'll kind of skip that. But so I work with Renee on the corporate fundraising side, and I also have Team Bear, a sponsorship group that raises money for Arlington National Cemetery. So one of the things that I do is t-shirts through Custom Ink, and I normally charge $500 per logo for companies to put on the back, but this year with COVID, everyone's you know, everybody's got different challenges, you know, financially going on. So I decreased that to $300, and I still had, I mean, no problem covering that. So I sold a little bit more than that, you know, this year. But so I made about around $3,000 just on, you know, soliciting donations, you know, for companies to put their logo on the back of my shirts. And then of course, then we'll, you know, sell the shirts too. And I usually make anywhere between, I don't know, around $1,500, $2,000. And it's not only t-shirts. I do hoodies, long sleeve tees, tank tops. And this year, for the first year, I'm selling kid sizes, because I had so many of my friends requested, you know, that. So we'll see how that goes. I can't tell you just yet if that's going to be a winning method or not, but I know the adult sizes have been a big hit. And I do all that directly through Custom Ink, and they're great to work with. And then I also do the 50 State Project. Again, since I'm personally fundraising for Arlington, there's veterans from all 50 states at Arlington buried at Arlington. So I try to get at least one donation per state, for Team Bear. And I kicked that off on July 1st, which would be, that's the birthday, or would have been the birthday of one of my friends that I lost in 2011. So I kind of do that in honor of him and help highlight him and his story. And then that's, I kind of do it in the summer where it's, I don't have as much activity going on in the summer. So I use, his birthday with, his family's permission, post photos about him and the other guys that were killed on his mission. So it's just a good way to, again, kind of bring it back to the mission, to remember, honor, and teach, to talk about JT and his service. And, so my goal is one donation per state, but I usually end up getting, a handful from each state. So that adds up pretty quickly. And that's something that you can do, no matter what location that you're fundraising for. You can pick, if you're in just a larger city or a larger community, or small or large, you can just have a goal of trying to get, whatever, make up a number, 5 per zip code, 5 donations per zip code, or, per area code. If you have, numerous area codes in your area, you can just kind of play around with it and, make it, make it, what would work for you and your community. And, and I do almost all of this primarily straight through social media. I mean, you don't have to leave your house. You can do it on your phone, on your computer. And then, just post about it constantly and give updates. People always want to know the updates on what's going on, because people want to, support a winning cause and a winning, fundraising idea. When they see that other people and other friends and family are participating, then they want to jump on it too. And then lastly, I do on the actual deadline, which this year, November the 30th, I get a group of friends together, which you don't have to do. You could all just, do this from your home. A phone-a-thon, which I'm kind of now calling a bear-a-thon since we're Team Bear. And we literally just Facebook, call people, text people, and just straight up say, today is the deadline. Can we count on you? Can you, will you do a $15 donation? And, we do it on Facebook, text. I have a little photo and a little write-up that I send out. And then, of course, the link for people to fundraise. And people really get into it. I do a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live to help promote it. And, people really respond well to it. And those are just kind of 3 ideas, the T-shirts and the 50 state plan and the phone-a-thon. Those are all 3 things that you can literally just do straight from your house. And it's been really effective for me, and just being able to use social media to help get the message out. So hopefully that'll work for you all as well.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you, Bree.
So it's 9 o'clock and we don't want to hold anyone too much longer. I think a lot of the questions from the chat have been answered. We will download a report and follow up tomorrow. So if you had a question in the chat and it didn't get answered, we will reach out to you and make sure that you have all that information. And again, we will follow up with an email with all the documents that we've talked about throughout, and include some of the links that we've talked about as well. And if you have any questions, just reach out to your liaison, and we are happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mountain Home out.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.